Can I just take a moment to appreciate the default TF2 HUD? It's simple, it's sleek, and it gives you everything that you need. But apparently that's not enough for some people. Stop me if this sounds familiar. You probably either A, got sick of the default HUD, or B, saw a different HUD being used by some different YouTuber or maybe some just random TF2 clip. So you finally go ahead and go to Game Banana or TF HUDs and finally get something different. You probably end up getting one of the most minimalist HUDs that you've ever seen, and for the majority of us, that's usually where the story ends. And I don't exactly blame you. I mean, the one you found probably looks really professional, real clean, and most importantly, is actually probably somewhat efficient. But after a while, even that new HUD starts to become a little boring, a little bland, and you start craving for something different. Something that really sticks out. Whether or not all of this applies to you, I have with me here 10 HUDs that I find really cool. Who knows, maybe you'll actually want to use them. But with that out of the way, let's get into the first one. Let's start with something a little more closer to home, shall we? First one that we're going to be talking about is Cool HUD. It's one of those HUD mods that take inspiration from the default TF2 HUD, but adds its own little spin to it. But in this case, the spin is massive. At first glance, it doesn't really look like anything, it just looks like another attempt to spice up the TF2 HUD. But the more you do things, you realize that certain actions will lead to certain things. For example, whenever your health starts to get low, your health will start to flash red. And the same thing goes for overheal, but instead it starts to flash yellow. Then, the next thing that I like is how whenever you do a killing shot, it displays how much damage you did at the top of the screen. Personally, it makes me feel like I'm playing some sort of arcade version of the game, and I absolutely love the aesthetic. There's a bunch of other stuff that I wasn't able to get, like the 3D player models and all that, but overall I really like this HUD. It's really impressive, and it's still only in its beta, so there's probably going to be a lot more coming to it. Overall, 10 out of 10. Now let's get a little bit more crazier with the HUD design, shall we? Let's focus on another game that Valve has made. Let's talk about Half-Life. So for the next two HUDs, I think I'm going to group them into one because they're technically the same theme and they're even made by the same person. Oh, and also I guess it does save quite a bit of time. I'll be completely honest with you, I thought these two were going to be extremely lackluster and lacking in content, but man was I wrong. I was just expecting a small little health and ammo count overhaul, and that's basically it. But it changed everything from the text to the menu, to the main menu, to even the mode selection. I was unironically surprised at how much effort was put into this and how cool everything looks. And while it does look amazing and it's probably one of the best looking HUDs I've ever seen, I do have some criticism for it. I think using this HUD was genuinely the first time I ever actually had trouble keeping track of my health. Especially for the Half-Life 1 version of it. It could just be me not using it enough, but I genuinely had trouble, keeping track of my health, and I completely forgot, often leading me to situations where I die almost instantly. That, and in some places it could look a bit weird, especially with name tags, but overall it's an amazing HUD, and I highly recommend using it. But with that being said, let's move on to the next one, and I think it's one that a lot of you might find fun. You get it? You see the joke is that this isn't fun. Okay, all insults aside, this is a really good looking HUD, really high quality, to the point where the creator even makes fun at the fact that it looks really good. And honestly, he has all right to. Like before, it doesn't just change the HUD, it changes a lot of aspects of the game visuals. I think my favorite change probably has to be how the class selection looks. It looks amazing, and just like Overwatch as well. But something that I also wasn't expecting was the hit marker. That really threw me off, I'm being fully serious. I don't know what it is, but I've always found myself to be just a little bit more accurate if I have a hit marker. So when I saw it, it really threw me off, but I unironically love it a lot. And you know, it actually works really well as an actual HUD too, so you don't even have to sacrifice efficiency for it. Overall, it's an amazing HUD. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I'm finally getting a bit tired of modern shooters. How about we go something a little bit more retro? RPG HUD. Believe it or not, this is actually the HUD that made me want to make this video. I'm being serious. The comments on a previous video really had just a back and forth of whether people like it or not, and it was the thing that got me thinking to look into more unique HUDs in the first place. Either way, I'm still gonna keep using it, so you know, Me personally, I have always been a big fan of RPGs, which is why I naturally kind of gravitated towards this HUD. And I don't know what it is, but the pixel art style really gets me. I don't know, it's just really nice. There's also another version of this HUD called Edited RPG HUD, but I'm not entirely sure how much of it changes. Overall, amazing HUD, and I hope that I could see more stuff like this. I would absolutely kill to have a HUD that's like based off the classic Final Fantasy style. Like, that would be absolutely my dream. Anyways, off to the next one. Alright, this one's gonna be really quick because, well, it's not exactly bad, it actually looks really good, it's just, I can kinda see why people choose effectiveness and efficiency now over goofiness. I want it to be known that I love this HUD, it's just really hard to keep track of just about everything. I mean, your health and your rechargeables are in the top right, and above your health is just money, and that has no reason for it being there. But honestly, I just kind of find that more hilarious. The dev, who apparently is also a pretty good YouTuber, said that he kinda had to rush this out because, well, working with the default TF2 HUD system sucks ass. And if that's even remotely true, which it probably is, then I 100% feel the developer. Overall, it's a great HUD. Give it a try for at least a little bit, but don't expect it to actually be anywhere near helpful. Now, let's move on to what's probably one of the best HUDs I've ever seen. Well, from that intro alone, I think you can already tell how good this HUD is going to be. This HUD is called Zeeshud. Z's HUD? I don't know, man. This HUD's actually based off another game called Persona 5. I don't really think I need to introduce anyone to Persona 5. Personally, I've never played it, but my god, how do I really want to. As for the HUD itself, well, if you ever just wanted a really unique HUD that pops out like crazy, this is the one for you. It's very bright, it's very sharp, and, well, it looks like the Persona 5 UI. It also adds in one of my more favorite features, the hit marker. I'm a major sucker for hit markers. I don't know why, I just really love them a lot. Overall, it's an amazing HUD, and for whatever reason, I just did amazingly well while I had it on. I 100% recommend it, give it a try. And obviously if you like Persona 5, it might even be your new permanent HUD. For me though, I find it to be just a little bit too over-distracting. I know I gave it a bunch of praise a little bit earlier, but I probably won't stick with it for very long. Now with all of that out of the way, let's move on to our last 4 HUDs. Fair warning though, for the last 4 they're gonna be more, interesting. What does my life come to? Yep, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Everything that TF2 has ever been has led up to this moment. The Shrekhud. Holy shit. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, this is a HUD based off of the Shrek movies. What else? Wow, big surprise. It's very much obviously a joke, but despite it being a joke, this is really well made for like no reason. It basically Shrekifies everything, and I mean everything. The font, the looks, it even adds a sound effect.
Prepare to compete in 60
That's pretty insane considering that no other HUD that I've covered so far has a sound effect like this one, and it's fucking hilarious. Hell, it even has a picture of when you're low health and when you die. Ah, so close. Seriously, this HUD has no right to be this good, and honestly, I'm really glad it is. It's overall really goofy, and you should 100% give it a try. That being said though, this is probably one of the only good ones. From here on out, it is pure just chaos. So, right out the bat, seizure warning, straight up, I am not joking, and you cannot sue me. I'm just going to show you the main menu of this HUD, and I think you'll see immediately what I'm talking about. This HUD is called the badtime HUD, and yeah, it sure is. This is the worst HUD in this entire list, and you wanna know the worst part? This entire theme is neon pink and neon green, which is fitting for any scout main, I'll tell you that. I think I almost threw up unironically playing this. The worst part is that it has a hit marker too, it's just really shitty. There's a bunch of other worse shit that you've probably noticed, like the spinning thing, I don't know what this is, and how everything just kind of looks generally out of place. Overall, I hate this HUD and I never want to talk about it. Can we please move on? You know what? I think I've finally had enough. That last HUD really broke me, I guess. So you know what? Fuck it. Fuck the HUD. Entirely. Fuck you. You don't get no HUD. This is the no HUD HUD. Not only is it exactly what you think it is, but it's actually more. It doesn't just get rid of your health and ammo, which I find hilarious. It gets rid of most of your leaderboard, your taunt menu, even your class selection isn't safe from this. I literally had to remember which class is which number and press the keyboard for it. It's amazing. Probably could have guessed it was a major struggle staying alive. Who would have thought that knowing how much health you had and how much ammo you had was such a big deal? Honestly, I might make this HUD its own video, because it seems like it has so much potential to have such funny moments. That aside though, this HUD also gave me a brand new admiration for even the minimalist HUDs. Sure, they're nothing flashy, but in the end they work, and they work very well. Not everything can be fun and roses, and in the end, being effective is pretty damn nice. So to anyone who's currently making a HUD or has made a HUD, good luck to whatever you're currently working on, and good job for whatever you made. All that being said though, I'm going back to the Shrek mod, baby! Woo!